living room for the University of Surrey Student Union 2013 elections hustings. Now it's all going off tonight. We've got the technical team in the background if they all want to give us a wave. Hello technical team. So there's a whole range of things going on tonight.
Welcome to the first of our 3 episodes in Question Time this year. As you know, we've combined the part-time exec with the full-time exec, so that is SABs with the part-time officers this year, so we're spreading the event over 3 nights. Please explain to us your own definition of equal opportunities.
To me, equal opportunities is giving everyone an equal opportunity.
How are you going to gauge student feedback differently to how it already is gauged?
Well, thank you, candidates, for saying that the Stag is your favourite student media. We're not hurt here at all with StagTV and everybody, but I think there was a couple of cheers from the Stag behind me. So we're actually going to go and have a chat to them now. So, hi, Alex. You've joined Anchor now. So, what's been happening on Twitter?
Well, first of all, big love for that comment about the Stag being your favourite media.
And whereas all positions are equal on this executive, some are more equal than others. If funding changes meant that we could no longer continue with all 3 media, which one would you cut and why? Andy?
Nice question, Alan.
But there's a lot of contention as to whether sort of the 3 student media really get on. Do you think that's fair to justify from people who may not be involved?
Who cares? Who cares? They should get on, frankly. And if they don't get on, what the bloody hell is wrong with them?
I think that as union chair, it's really important to be aware of some of the challenges that are facing some of the part-time members. As with many students at Surrey, they're juggling at least 1, but sometimes 2 or 3 committee positions, sometimes part-time jobs, and of course, most importantly of all, really, their degree.
As it is a voluntary role and not a paid role, you can't expect them to be as involved or interactive with their role because they do have other responsibilities as well. We need to actively, sometimes we need to shake people and get them involved by literally getting up in their faces and, trying to be more active in that sense.
Hannah?
My first response to this question would be a challenge to the statement that nobody really cares about the uncontested positions in this election.
Is Twitter agreeing with the fact that there might be a clique or disagreeing?
Well, it's a bit of a mix. There's the classic, arguably the members of the clique are obviously saying, we're really inclusive, and I'd probably put myself in that clique, and I think I'm pretty inclusive.
Every year, surveys consistently rank teaching and learning higher and higher in satisfaction. Is there anything more this university can actually do? Imogen?
The answer to this question is simple.
But yeah, it's a shame if you let nerves get in the way of things, which I am doing right now.
Do you think that's a sign of weakness or maybe a sign of passion? So now go back to Pundit's Corner. How are we doing, guys?
Yeah, good. Not bad.
Yeah?
Good.
My seat's moved. Okay, hang on. There we go. Cool. So VP Education, it's quite a major role within the student union. Some might argue that they don't get as much publicity as they could. The Keep Wednesday Afternoons Free seems to be an important issue. I mean, obviously amongst students and the voting. But do you perhaps see the VP Education as being almost a band-aid position? So if there's an issue that arises, they're there to support the students then. But most students might, it could be argued, see the VP Education as being sort of redundant the rest of the time. You'll start?
I don't think that's necessarily the case. VP Education has one of the larger remits, I think, of all the SABs. I think, as you noted out, Charlie pointed at the beginning that they are effectively almost like a deputy president, in the sense that if the president wasn't there, they would be the person in charge. The 2 areas they look at policy, firstly, on a macro level across the university, what should the education policy be, what should exams look like, what should the timetable of classes look like. So that's a big role they have. But then on top of that, they also have to get involved in a lot of individual micro casework. So I don't necessarily think it's a band-aid position. If anything, it's also too much of a wide position, meaning there's too much for them to do. So I would think it's unfair to call it a band-aid position.
I don't disagree with anything that's said there.
You join us tonight for the second hustings of 2013 for the University of Surrey Student Union. Tonight we have the International Officer, the Ethics and Development Officer, the Rank Chair, VP Societies and Internal Development or Individual Development and VP Sports. So without further ado, let's cut down to Channy's, where I think it's all about to start.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Question Time. This is episode 2. I am just going to take up a few minutes of your time to run through a few things that we need to tell you tonight.
Do we have any questions from the floor? We've got one in the middle here, behind the camera.
As a student who lives on campus, there's nothing stopping me from having like hour-long showers on full blast. Is there anything which you would do to perhaps stop this wasteful water?
Where do you live?
I'm not going to tell you that.
We'll have the water supply cut off, no. I can't do anything about that. My role isn't going to be about forcing students to do something they don't want to do. It's about understanding what they want to do and finding a middle ground between what they would like to do and at the same time making it better for the environment and making it more sustainable.
I would expect all candidates to come to this and watch other candidates, unless they had.
It's an expectation. I think it's
absolutely.
An expectation.
It's a position. At the end of the day, you'll be working with this person and with this position. You can't just disregard it. If you have a coursework or a valid reason, then that's fine. But I'm pretty sure out of a team of
none at the moment.
20 people, yeah, absolutely. A team of 20 people, one person should be here, exactly.
What do you all think, sort of generic question, what do you all think about the elections being now? Be interested to hear from the pundits' corner.
Charlie's stealing from mine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Mike would like to ask a question.
No.
What does everybody think about having the elections at the time they are now?
I think it's a brilliant idea. Seriously.
Yeah. Students have less money than ever and frequently cite the cost of living as a major dissatisfaction while here at Surrey. Why then continue to fundraise from this section of society?
As a fresher this year, I know how it feels to move in, living on a budget, like trying not to rely on your parents. And next year we found a house in town and it's really expensive. And talking to my friends in other universities, it is more expensive living in the Guildford area.
Behind you.
You keep mentioning that you want to get members of societies and clubs involved. A lot of those members already have a lot of other commitments. How do you plan to get them actually actively involved in RAG? Do you have a plan of action to do that, to see that through?
Like the membership that I hope to introduce to RAG, I hope societies and clubs will receive a benefit as well.
Right, thank you. I have a question from the floor. The two biggies next. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back at 10 o'clock. Charlie will be here, former sports exec chair, to talk about VP Sports. And then round about 11 o'clock we will be doing VP Societies. Back to Stag Media in the living room. Thank you very much.
You join us back here in the living room where we're sort of still critiquing what's going on the Tweetosphere. So what's happening?
Well, we talked a lot about societies before, but the question is whether the RAG chair has that involvement in societies, or this is actually down to VP societies, which is one of the next candidates questioning.
Blank sheet of paper now. Write down the name of the candidate that you're going to give your second vote to. Oh, you can't choose Ron, by the way.
Make sure you get your voice heard and vote. I've been Mike Fraser and you've been watching Stag TV.